What's going on, y'all? So I did some research because I like to look at patterns. And regarding Dan Quinn, regardless whether it was as a head coach, even though he's a better defensive coordinator than he is as a head coach, he still had some success. Took Atlanta to the bowl. They choked, but he took Atlanta to the bowl. He won the bowl with Seattle before Russell Wilson became into the Russell Wilson that he is today. But I noticed certain characteristics. I noticed certain things that all of his teams have. I noticed some similarities. Hey, mama. Shh. So let's go to the Seattle. D-line. Cliff Averill. Y'all know Cliff Averill was solid. I believe he was with the Lions too. Cliff Averill was solid. Michael Bennett, Michael Bennett was here. Big Kevin Williams. Y'all remember that? I don't know if y'all go back that far, but y'all remember that Kevin Williams and Pat Williams? that duo inside, man, in Minnesota, that was tough. You know what I mean? Jordan Hill. He didn't pan out to be, but, Bruce Irvin. He was listed as a linebacker, but, he rushed, though, but, he stood up, too. O'Brien Schofield, it was kind of in that similar thing, and Cassius Marsh. They both had, flexibility to either come as a blitzer or rush a little bit or drop back. Big Tony McDaniel, big 320 dude. Brandon Mebane, solid. You see, look, 1, 2, he had at least 3, 4 interior players, right? That not only could stuff the run, right? Big Tony, Kevin, Brandon could stuff the run. Osa, Ridgeway, Bohannon, Gallimore, you want them against the run. Jordan Hill and that Kevin Williams will kind of go towards the, even though Kevin Williams was solid against that run, but that Jordan Hill kind of go against that Tristan Hill, in a form like that. And then you got the one we got from Minnesota, man, the one we just got, the linebacker from Minnesota. Him and Parsons. Them as linebackers that can rush and drop. For what I've always noticed, though, right? He's always had 5 rushers, whether it be 4 in the ground and another one that can come on the blitz or be a linebacker or play a linebacker type of role. He's always had 5 rushers on the field at all times. And we're going to go to Atlanta, though, but we're not done yet. 5 rushers on the field at all times. They had that 4-3 in Seattle. Bobby Wagner, KJ Wright, Malcolm Smith, LJ Fort was their linebackers. Of course, the game has evolved. So, you need a little bit more flexibility because the game has evolved. It's night and day from what it was 8 to 10 years ago. But it's still a similar makeup. It's just you have to evolve in the type of players that you need, but it's still a similar makeup. I wouldn't say Bobby Wagner is Micah Parsons, but, as far as the leadership capabilities and him being just one of the best, if not the best at his position, definitely falls in line with Micah Parsons. Safeties, Earl Thomas, Cam Chancellor. Malik Hooker has Earl Thomas type traits in what he wanted in his safety. Cam Chancellor, Donovan Wilson brings the boom. And then you got some more flexibility with Curse. Let's look at your corners. He's never had just these top-notch corners. He's always just had solid corners, but had one good corner. Richard Sherman, Trayvon Diggs, Byron Maxwell, Thurl Simon, Deshaun Shedd. All of them were just solid players in that scheme. Kelvin Joseph, Nashawn Wright, Jordan Lewis, Anthony Brown. You would have to say that combo was definitely a lot better than what that was what he had in Seattle, but will play the same type of role. All of them will play the same type of role. He used all of them corners in that type of role, and it's a passing league now, and he still used them 4 corners. I can tell you that all 4 of them corners were used. And now you need, since it's a passing league and everything is more spread out, now it's, I need 5, 6 corners now. You know what I mean? I need a safety that can cover like a corner. That's just where the game has evolved. Offense. Let's be real. Offense was lightweight weak. Let's look. Okay, you had Russ. He wasn't developed to what he was. You had Marshawn and Christian Michael as your running backs. You got Zeke, Tony Pollard as your running backs. Hey, little mommy, close the door for me. Look at the wide receivers, though. His wide receivers was Doug Baldwin, Jermaine Kearse, and Paul Richardson. What was the heart of that? What was the heart of that team? Marshawn on offense. What's going to have to be the heart of this team? Zeke on offense. We're going to have to run the ball, bring it to him. Yeah, we're going to need Dak to do a little bit more than what Russ did in this thing. But, when it came down to it, Russ came to play when it was time for him to come to play. Receivers wasn't all that. But they got it done, though. So, see, people always talking about, it's a passing league. I don't care how much the league evolves. If you got a dominant defense, that dominant defense is going to take you far. And for what it looks like that we have in Dallas, it's looking like we having the makers of having a dominant defense, because there's no way that we can't build on the defense of what they did from last year to now. Pass rush. Come on, man. Look at all them bodies that I named you. Look at them ends that I named you. Linebackers that can play in. Had a nice middle with Mebane, Kevin Williams, Tony McDaniel. And it looked like our middle has improved. Right? That's just to go on Seattle. Let's go on Atlanta. D-line. Brooks Reed, Jonathan Babineau, Grady Jarrett, Derek Shelby, Rasheed Hagelman, Dwight Freeney, Adrian Claiborne. Does that look kind of familiar to you? Even though their system was a little bit different. Linebacker, Tyson Jackson, Vic Beasley, Deion Jones, Devondre Campbell, O'Brien Schofield, Courtney Upshaw, Sean Witherspoon, Philip Wheeler, Paul Rorolo. They had nice linebackers on this team. Deion Jones. Devondre Campbell. I always say Devondre Campbell is reminiscent of the LSU linebacker that we got, Cox. I think they're similar players. Deion Jones. And Sean Witherspoon, even though he was always hurt, when he played, he was a bad boy. Paul Warlow, he turned into be a solid little linebacker, when he's available. But guess what? Vic Beasley, even though the system was a little different, I believe it was 3-4. They played a lot of 3-4. Vic Beasley still came. O'Brien Schofield still came. Look at your ends. Jonathan Babineau, D-tackle. Jonathan Babineau was solid, underrated. Y'all sleep on him. He had Rasheed in there. Dwight, Brooks, Grady Jarrett. Look, he always had somebody on the D-line that was just so disruptive. And Seattle, it was more based on the ends. They had a lot of ends that could come with it, and it was strong in the inside. And on Atlanta, their interior players was pretty solid. And Brooks Reed, they sleep on, he's a solid player. Babineau good, Grady Jarrett, and Freeman rushing, right? And then you got Vic coming. Look at the corners. The same thing. Rob Alford, Desmond Trufant, Collins, Bleedy Ray Wilson, C.J. Goodwin. The only name that really come out to you is Desmond Trufant. So he had his one corner and solid corners after that. Do y'all catch the trend? Safeties, Keanu Neal, Ricardo Allen, Deshaun Ghostin, Brian Poole, solid safeties. He's got his hitter. Ricardo Allen he was decent. He was solid. So if y'all look at the trend, the only thing is that we just happen to just gather the Dallas defense that we have from top to bottom is much more talented than these two teams. But we have a common denominator though. We have rushers from all over the field. We can bring 6 rushers that can do multiple things. We can have damn, I can't think of the man, I swear, it's always with these names. But the Vikings linebacker that we got. Barr. So you can have your 4 rushers, Barr, Micah. That's 6 rushers. And 2 rushers right there with Barr and Micah can also drop and play. So you could bring 6 at any given time. Look at the flexibility. So he did nothing but evolve with that. The same thing, the same formula with corners. I got my one corner that's a dog, and I got solid ones backing me up. I got my center fielder. I got my Earl, which is Malik Hooker, and I got my safety that brings the boom, which is Donovan Wilson. You know, Leighton, you know, he's a coverage linebacker. Just wait on Damon Clark. That's who you need to be paying attention to. Damon Clark. Wait on Damon Clark. But, like I said, at minimum, what Cox is going to give us is Devondre Campbell. Coverage. A coverage linebacker. Sideline linebacker. I wouldn't call him Deion Jones because he ain't did nothing yet. But something similar to a Deion Jones. As far as ability, as far as being able to cover, as far as being able to go sideline to sideline. Our D-line is much more deeper. You got Gallimore who can play both nose and 3 tech. Osa can do the same thing. Tristan Hill's a 3 tech. You got the 2 noses. You try to Bohannon is gonna get love. Ridgeway is gonna get love. And then on top of that, when you go with your NASCAR package, you could put a Gallimore or Osa and rush them from the nose and have Tristan still run. You got ends who can rush as a 3 tech as well. He did that last year. You got Ghostin, and it looked like they trying to make him a 3 tech. That's an added bonus. I always say that's Tyron Crawford. Look at the common denominator. He loves multiple rushers at the same time. But the common denominator is Dan Quinn. Same formula. He just evolved in the formula. Because he had to evolve with the game. Because the game is much different than it was 6 years ago. The game is much different than it was 8, 9, 10 years ago. So, same formula, he just had to evolve in his same formula. Still the same code, he just had to evolve in his coverages. He had to figure out what was wrong and fix it. He had to, okay, so the league is being much more spaced out, so I have to get more players that's much spaced out, so I can't roll with a KJ Wright. You know? I need another Anthony Barr. I needed another Mike. I needed a Cox, you know? So he just had to make small adjustments. So, if y'all really look at it, same formula, same coach, just evolvement. This defense, like I said, anything less than the top 5, I'm disappointed. This defense is for real, especially under Dan Quinn. So with that being the case, man, all the offense got to do is just don't make us lose. Don't do nothing to make us lose. Just move the chains and score a little bit. The defense is going to handle the rest. You can win off of just being your formula, just being defensive led. Don't sit over there like, because somebody else didn't do it the way the league is going. You set trends. You be different. I don't care what nobody talk about. You still need a good defense to win something. And all the teams that went to that bowl had good defenses. So, and look at what Cincinnati did. Cincinnati just had a unit that played collective. Hendrickson was their man. You trying to tell me that our DeMarcus Lawrence ain't better than Hendrickson? Huh? Who is the Bengals linebackers? They played as a unit. Cheeto was their number 1 corner. Good safeties, though. They played as a unit. The Rams ultimately won it, right? What did they have? Aaron Donald. Okay, bam. I got Michael Parsons. That's gonna cancel you out. You have Von Miller. I had DeMarcus Lawrence. Who you have? Ashawn Robertson. I got Gallimore. I got Osa. You got they have Floyd. Huh. Come on, man. I got them from all over the place. We have more rushers. We're more in debt. We have more debt than every one of them teams I just named. If one go down, somebody else is gonna come. You know what I'm saying? So just understand, when our offense has been leading this team, we ain't won nothing. Now it's time for the defense to make it happen so we can win what we've been craving for over 20-something years. But y'all like, comment, and subscribe, though. We out.